Not giving a crap about other people's opinions is not only a superpower, but it's also a necessity. If you want to succeed in whatever it is you're doing, in whatever area, for example, self improvement, fitness, business, studies, whatever it is, when it comes to choosing the direction you want to go in your life, and simply on any subject, it might be uh, a small matter, it might be a big matter. If you keep caring about what other people think or say, you will go nowhere, because people will always have something to say, and most of the times their opinion will not align with yours. So if you always feel like you are constantly pressed by other people's, let's say, thoughts, opinions, and they're like pushing you away, and you just are overthinking too much, you're overthinking all the time, they drop a comment, you're overthinking it, they're telling you you're not doing this right, or they're not giving you support, and they're going against you, you're going to be feeling bad. And I want to show you exactly how you can stop letting those things get to you. The first step is simply understanding that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they have to say, right? And it is, of course, obvious. I'm not going to stay on this point too long, but my parents, they always have to say something about school, about the business that I'm doing, about my fitness, and most times they disagree. But the other point is understanding that their opinion doesn't really matter. If the people who are giving you the critique, the advice, are not in the position where you want to be, or they're just not living the way you'd like to be living, or they have different values, stop taking advice from them. Stop listening to them. Stop interacting. You can hear them out. You don't need to tell them to, go away, but even if you hear them out, just basically create this mental block where you don't take in anything they're saying. And I know it sounds a bit weird, a bit rude, but it's actually what it takes. Because in this self-improvement journey, in this business journey that I've been on, a lot of people have been trying to bring me down, and I'm not saying it like in a super villain type of you know way, where they're literally, trying to block my way, they're trying to make me fail, they're praying for my downfall. No, they were doing this subconsciously. They've been doing it in a way where they think I'm doing the bad thing, right? They think I should be doing the thing the way they would do it. And people are subconsciously hoping you fail, because if you fail, it means they were right. If you fail at what you were doing, and you didn't take their advice and their opinion, they will feel right. They will say, got you, I told you, you have to do this, you had to act like this. That's what they're waiting for. And if you're going on one direction, but then you're allowing that hope of theirs, that, you know if wanting of them to bring you down, get to you, you're simply kind of fighting against you. You want to do one thing, but then you're allowing other people to limit you. And you need to understand that they will most people will never give you any constructive criticism. Most people who are not on the same journey as you and don't have the same goals, the same values, they will not understand you. And as harsh as it sounds, you need to spend less time with them. You need to go all in on your goal. You need to stop talking and telling and trying to make a point and prove that what you're doing is right. Of course, it's going to be hard doing it without other people's support and going against the wave, but it's what it takes. I've been, for 2 years in online business. My entire family has been against me. I would get into arguments, and at first I would try to argue. I would try to prove myself. I would try to list all the reasons why I may be right, and that I wouldn't tell them that this is the correct way. I would simply tell them this is the way I want to go. But most people will not understand that. Most people will think that they know better than you, especially people who are older and more, let's say, yeah, simply older, right? People have this misconception that simply because they're older, because they have more years under them, they're all of a sudden smarter, or their value is different. But you wouldn't take advice from a 60-year-old homeless person, even though he might have lived longer. Perhaps there is some area you could take advice on, perhaps on I don't know, some mistake he committed in the past, and he could give you advice as to not, make it. But you would never ask a homeless person advice on business or advice on health or something. And I know this is an extreme, but extremes is what it takes to prove a point. If your parents are working a 9 to 5, if your family is, behaving differently, and they simply are not making a lot of money, and you're starting a business, you're not going to take their advice. You're not going to listen to them. You're not going to take advice from them about the work ethic, about any financial decisions. You're simply not. If you will end up in the exact same position they're in, and you don't want to be there. And yeah, what I just simply realized is that you need to stop convincing, and you need to start acting, and you need to start blocking out the rest of the world. I don't have a lot of friends. I have probably a few friends, like 4 friends or something. I have other people who I have good relations with, but I don't spend a lot of time with them. And I don't hang around. I don't hang around people who are not like-minded. I don't hang around people who have different goals than me. I'm not saying they need to have the exact same goals, but I mean, just going in the same direction, self-improvement, looking for something bigger. Never went to a party, never going out to drink, never doing any things that are going against my values. Because when you allow those people into your life, you will start thinking like them. Their opinions will start to matter way, way, way more to you than if you were to simply distance yourself from those people, if you were to not interact with them. Most of the time, I'm just spending it with myself. I'm spending it on calls with people who are improving and are looking for something better. And that's just what it takes. You're not gonna have to do this for the rest of your life, but to get to the position that you want to get, which is always hard when you're going to this transition period where it takes a lot from you, I recommend you distance yourself from other people. That is the only way you will be able to not allow the criticism affect you. That's what it takes. I highly urge you to start distancing yourself from other people. Even if you hear them talk, stop saying counter arguments. Stop trying to prove a point. Stop trying to convince them. Stop trying to get them on the same path as you. Most of the people, you simply won't be able to change their minds and make them know what you're doing. I know it seems hard. I know it seems tough, rough. You want to help others. You want to prove them that you're right, and you want to convince them that they should join you as well. But most of the time, people people are thinking by themselves. They have their own environment that affects them, the things that build their beliefs, and you won't be able to change that by a simple conversation or an Instagram reel you send them. No, you might never be able to change your mind just because of the goals and the values they have in their life. So the best thing you can do is simply focus on yourself, get to the goal that you want to have, and then perhaps in the future they will change their mind. Perhaps they will join the same path, or at least they will respect you. They will say, okay, my bad, I was wrong, you were right. But when you're not there yet, you have no deal of trying to convince others you're right or arguing with them and wasting your energy, time, and stress. So I highly urge you to simply stop caring about others. Review every single point I told in this video, and the best way is simply distancing yourself from other people. Of course, there are going to be people in your close environment, and when they're going against you, it's very, very hard. It's very tough. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. But the best advice I can give you is simply motivate yourself for what's to come. Motivate yourself and try to imagine how it will feel once you actually have achieved the goal. Once you have achieved the goal, and how will others perceive you and your family? Perhaps they will praise you. Perhaps you will be able to pay them back. Perhaps you will be able to help them out because you're in a better position. Try to motivate yourself. Try to daydream and fantasize of what life may be if you succeed. And that's how you're going to attract success. That's how you're going to keep going. And that's how you're not going to let the criticism get into your head. I hope this helps. I really, really appreciate you for watching. And most importantly, God bless you.